Hare Krishna. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss any updates.
For absolute protection from all sorts of fear, as well as for all our needs of life, we must take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, not only in this planet, but also in all the upper, lower and heavenly planets. This absolute dependence on the lotus feet of the Lord is called pure devotional service, and it is directly hinted at within this passage. No one should have any kind of doubt in this matter, nor should one be inclined to seek the help of any other demigods, because all of them are dependent on Him only. Everyone except the Lord Himself is dependent on the mercy of the Lord. Even the all-pervading Supersoul is also dependent on the supreme aspect of Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Thus ends the Bhakti-Vedanta purport. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Nirnamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravadi Vacharane Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Asyate Deshatani Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauravaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Brahma is describing the opulences of the Virata Purusha. He's so far described the different bodily parts of Virata Purusha as the generating centers of the different sense organs, the different faculties which all of us as human beings have and other living entities have. So in the previous verse, Brahma described about how the Virata Purusha's arms are the protective fields for the demigods and other leaders of the living entities. And they are meant for Kshema Karmana. They are meant for protecting the general mass of people. So which means the energy, the power which the living entities as leaders and different prominent personalities in the society, they are known as powerful personalities, they have is all bestowed by Krishna. And Krishna is the origin, Krishna is the source. This aspect one has to understand. And Prabhupada said this very mentality that from Krishna all the energy is coming out and it should be used for His service. This will bring about peace and prosperity in human society. So now coming to the Pada, the lotus feet, Charana. This description is given here that Charana, Hare's Charana Aspadam. One should completely take shelter of his lotus feet. Why? Because his steps or his Charana, his lotus feet, is actually moving everything. Vikramo Bhur Bhuvasvascha. All the things what is happening in the world is all because of Krishna's mercy. And what you mentioned, one important point which is mentioned here, that the protection of the Lord is the absolute protection from all sorts of fear, and is also going to provide all the necessities of our life. So this shelter of lotus feet of Krishna is not only on our planet, earthly planet, it is also on the Bhur Bhuva Svascha. on the upper, mid, lower and heavenly planets. Everybody has to depend on Krishna's shelter, Krishna's lotus feet. We should take shelter of Krishna. Sarva kama varasyapi, kshemasya sharanasya cha. So Prabhupada is bringing about the principle of absolute dependence on Krishna's lotus feet. And he's telling this absolute dependence on the lotus feet of Lord is called pure devotional service. So depending on lotus feet of Krishna is complete dependence, and it is hinted in this passage by Lord Brahma himself. No one should have any kind of doubt in this matter, nor should we seek shelter of any other devata, because actually everything is dependent on Krishna. Here is mentioned that Krishna's lotus feet, Hare Charana Aspadam. So this important principle of absolute dependence on Krishna's lotus feet, which is actually pure devotional service, is what Bhagavatam is explaining us in all the different various cantos very nicely. And this is exactly what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted us to teach. When he incarnated as a devotee of Krishna, he showed us how to take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. Because taking shelter of lotus feet of Krishna is going to give you protection from all sorts of fear, and is going to provide you all needs of life. So it's a very important revelation which we can contemplate. Kshemasya sharanasya sarva kama varasyapi. Lord's lotus feet, Lord's protection means it's freedom from all fear and providing all necessities of our life, all needs of our life. This is the wonderful transcendental quality of the lotus feet of Krishna. So everybody should be dependent on Krishna's lotus feet. So in the same line, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who came to give us or teach us how to take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet and finally achieve the love of Krishna, taking shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the example of, rather he demonstrated the example of how when a seed, bhakti seed, is sown in the heart of a sadhaka, gradually that seed is sprouted by the practice of bhakti, devotional service in the form of shravana, kirtana, chanting, hearing. Then gradually that seed sprouts into a creeper of bhakti, bhakti lata. And the creeper, as we are progressing in our bhakti, it grows. And it penetrates the coverings of this material universe and goes to the Paravyoma, Vaikuntha sky. And there it goes forward and finally takes shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. And this description is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami, his instructions. How there, once it takes shelter, the creeper takes shelter of lotus feet of Krishna, it starts relishing the fruits of devotion to Krishna. Like this description goes on. So, for us to take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us a wonderful process of chanting the holy names of Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has personally shown by his example how he took shelter of the holy name of Krishna in his Leela as a devotee, and he is teaching us how to take shelter of the holy name. Nama Prabhu. Shelter of the lotus feet of the holy name of Krishna. Lotus feet of Nama Prabhu, we have to take shelter. I'll just try to read few of the passages from Adi Leela, chapter 8, which is giving some indications and wonderful lessons for us with regard to how to take shelter of the lotus feet of Nama Prabhu. Because taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, Prabhupada is telling here, is pure devotional service, and it is going to give us protection from all sorts of fear and provides us with all necessities of life. Right? So there are very wonderful passages in this chapter, 8th chapter, Adi Leela, wherein Yudhisthira Krishna Dasa is describing various aspects of our taking shelter of the holy name, the lotus feet of the holy name. Okay. So one of the verses says, Bahu janma kare yadi shravana kirtana tabuta na paya Krishna pade prema dhana. This verse says, if one is infested with the 10 offenses in the chanting of the holy name, Mahamantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many births, Bahu janma kare yadi shravana kirtana, he will not get the love of Godhead, which is the ultimate goal of this chanting. So, if our chanting is infested with offenses, 10 kinds of offenses, then despite our endeavor to chant the holy name for many births, Bhujanma, Kare Yadi Shravana Kirtana, Tabutana Paya, Krishna Pade. Krishna Pade. Krishna Pade means you cannot get shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. His holy name, shelter you cannot get. Which means Krishna's shelter you cannot get. Means the easiest way to achieve the shelter of lotus feet of Krishna in Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has shown us, is to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra offenselessly. Many times. Every day we will be hearing. So what is that new thing I am going to tell today? Nothing new. But again, repeat the same thing and emphasize and stress on the point that yes, this is very important. Offenseless chanting. In fact, the verses which Krishna Swami mentions, again stresses that how we should do offenseless chanting. Because we have to associate with the holy name. And chanting the holy name is the means to associate with Supreme Personality of Godhead and take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. So, the important direction which Siddhanta Thakur Maharaj gives, the purport Prabhupada mentions, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu you have to accept. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shelter you should take in order to become free from offenses. And when you say take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu means what? Strictly follow the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhupada says the most important instruction is in the Shastaka, Tranadapi Sunichena, Tarograpi Sahishnana, Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Saradi. This we have so many times repeated. This verse. So, this verse, Krishna Swami says in the Antya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, this should become an ornament for us and we should be wearing it around our neck. Like Kandi Mala we are wearing. Like that, this Pranadapi Sunicana verse should become necklace for us. Necklace is something which is always aware of what you are wearing. So, the chanting of Hare Krishna should be done in this mood, in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than straw in the street, and be more tolerant than a tree, and devoid of all sense of false prestige, ready to offer all respects to others. Then you can chant the holy name constantly. Prabhupada says one should follow this direction being freed from 10 kinds of offenses, then he can become successful in Krishna consciousness, ultimately reach the platform of loving service, which means have shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. Further, in one more verse, it is mentioned, Krishna nama kare aparadhera vichara, Krishna balile aparadhira na haya vikara. There are offenses to be considered while chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Therefore, simply by chanting Hare Krishna, one does not become ecstatic. Which means, Hare Krishna mantra chanting we are all doing. But the chanting of Hare Krishna right now, because it is infested with offenses, 10 kinds of offenses, so it is not bringing us to the platform of ecstasy or the platform of pure devotion, in other words. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is clearly distributing. Without any consideration, he is distributing the love of God. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. His incarnation is to just, without discrimination, distribute love of God. But in our case, we are not able to receive that mercy because we are committing offenses. So Prabhupada explains from the Padma Purana, he states the 10 offenses. So these 10 offenses which we chant every day is from Padma Purana. And Prabhupada quotes the verses in one of the purports of that chapter. How these 10 offenses play a very important role, and Prabhupada gives this direction that we should be very carefully avoid these offenses. Our endeavor in our day-to-day services, activity should be how to carefully avoid these 10 offenses. So while commenting on the different offenses, Prabhupada is stating regarding the first offense. Prabhupada says the first offense, to blaspheme the great saintly persons who are engaged in preaching the glories of holy name, Mahamantra, of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Prabhupada says this is the worst offense. This is the worst offense at the lotus feet of the holy name of the Lord. In one more context, in the while commenting on the 10 offenses in Bhagavatam, Prabhupada says, the offense of offending Krishna can be counteracted by taking shelter of the holy name of Krishna. And if you offend the holy name, lotus feet of the holy name, there is no hope. So the first offense, the offense or the blasphemy of devotees who are engaged in preaching the glories of the holy name, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is the worst offense. Let us be more deliberate on this. Prabhupada says, one should not criticize the preacher of the glories of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So criticizing, blaspheming is a very serious offense, as Prabhupada says, worst offense. And Prabhupada even goes on to say, the Nama Prabhu, who is identical with Krishna, will never tolerate such blasphemous activities. Rupa Goswami, in his instruction, Upadeshamrita, he says, one who is uttering Krishna's name from his tongue, anybody who is uttering Krishna's name, he should be mentally respected. And one who has taken initiation should actually offer our obeisances. And one who is advanced devotee is supposed to serve him. Yesterday's Mangalarti reading, Prabhupada says, we have to address each other as Prabhu, not simply lip service Prabhu. Actually, genuinely should mean Prabhu, the servant. So, these are all considerations which we should have. Criticizing each other, blaspheming each other is a big offense. See, chanting Hare Krishna, even Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Eka Krishna Name Kare Sarva Papanasha. Simply chanting the Hare Krishna mantra without offenses vanquishes all sinful activities. And the point is, we are not able to chant Hare Krishna without offenses. That is the problem. So, Prabhupada is telling us, giving us directions in this part of this particular section of Chaitanya Charitamrita, how we should be so careful with regard to our activities as a sadhaka. How meticulously we should be following every aspect of the instructions given in Chaitanya Charitamrita. As Prabhupada says, we should be carefully avoiding the offenses. So, this first offense, in that sense, is a very serious offense. Even in the society of Vaishnavas, community of devotees, be very careful to criticize. It may be criticizing when mentally, that is also going to affect you. Right? Mentally or verbally or physically, any offense. If you offend, as Prabhupada says here, Nama Prabhu will not tolerate, will never tolerate such blasphemous activities. And Prabhupada says further, even though one who passes as a great devotee, even though from one who passes as a great devotee, in a society of devotees, he may be considered as a great devotee. If he is offending another Vaishnava, another devotee, Nama Prabhu will never tolerate. See, all said and done, we are all in the organization which Srila Prabhupada has mercifully started for our self-purification, and also in that course of purifying ourselves to see what best we can do as service for Srila Prabhupada. Right? So Prabhupada wants us to spread the message of the holy name. In fact, if you see, the entire society of Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada says in one of the purports, this chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, that we are trying to engage all the members of Krishna consciousness movement in the service of the holy name. From the morning till evening, what are we doing actually? Prabhupada is trying to engage us in serving holy name, and we personally serve, and we also serve the holy name by distributing the holy name as per the directions of Prabhupada and Acharyas. So this is what our movement is. Preaching means what? Preaching means to serve holy name by ourselves taking proper shelter of holy name, and also making others take shelter of holy name. Right? So this is the point here. So in the course of doing this, we should be careful in avoiding the offenses. Everybody is engaging in serving the holy name. The holy name, Nama Prabhu, will be very upset if we offend other Vaishnavas, other persons who are engaged in service of the holy name. Right? We should be careful in this direction. Second offense, Prabhupada gives a wonderful perspective, a more wonderful perspective from Padma Purana. Generally we think, what is second offense? Consider the names of demigods such as Brahma equal to independent. Here Prabhupada gives a more wonderful perspective. He says, Shivasya Shri Vishnu Riya Gunanamari Sakalam Dhya Vinnam Pashet Sakalu Harinama Hita Karaka. Vishnu's holy name is all auspicious. His name, his form, his qualities, his pastimes are all transcendental. So Prabhupada says, if one tries to separate the absolute personality of Godhead from his holy name, or his transcendental form, qualities, pastimes, thinking them to be material, that is offensive. Which means, Hare Krishna, rather the holy names of Supreme Lord as Vishnu, Narayana, Krishna, That is different. His pastimes are different. His activities are different. His qualities are different. Or they are material. Just like people comment. The different pastimes of Krishna, especially the Rasa Leela, is all material activities, ordinary activities. Krishna is God. In that way, separating Krishna from his different other aspects is an offense. Similarly, to think of the names of demigods, second offense. One more explanation of what is further understanding of what is the second offense. One is to consider, so Mayavaris think that God, whose activities, his leela and all are material. It's an offense. So, in that way, it is blasphemy, second offense, one more angle which Prabhupada explains very wonderful here. Other offenses we are familiar. I just want to bring to your notice some offenses which are very serious. The worst offense is the first offense. Seventh offense, Prabhupada says, the greatest offense is the lotus feet of the Nama. Seventh offense is Namna Bala Desyahi Papa Buddhi Na Vidyate Tasya Yamayati Suddhihi. Namna Bala. To think that Hare Krishna mantra you are chanting, it can counteract all sinful reactions. So, you can go on engaging in sinful activities, at the same time chant Hare Krishna mantra to neutralize them. Right? This is the greatest offense. The lotus feet of the holy name, lotus feet of Harinam. See, Prabhupada is specifically using lotus feet. And the 10th offense. 10th offense, Prabhupada is very wonderfully quoting from Padma Purana in Sanskrit. Shrutepi nama mahatme yah priti rahito naraha aham mamadi paramo nama namni so api aparadha krit. You have heard the glories of holy name. Shrutepi nama mahatme. Heard glories, wonderful glories of holy name, transcendental holy name, but nevertheless continues in a materialistic concept of life. Materialistic concept of life, Prabhupada explains, aham mamadi paramo. You're supposed to have Krishna as paramo, but the concept is aham mamadi paramo. Krishna says mat paramaha, mat karma krim, mat paramo. Whereas the concept of I am this body and everything belongs to this body is mine, aham mama. This concept is prominent or this continues in our understanding. It's called materialistic concept of life. Even though you have heard so many things, the materialistic concept continues. Because of which, Priti Rahita Naraha. There is no respect and love for chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. This is an offense. So, when you are, these are all things which we have to contemplate every day deeply and then see where is that chanting is, where I have to improve in my chanting. It's an everyday process. In one more context, Prabhupada explains. There is a verse in Bhagavatam, you will be familiar, wherein it says, Tadashmasaram hridayam vatedam yad grahyamanid harinamadiye. Second canto, third chapter. Na vikriyeteta yada vikaro netre jalam gata ruheshu harsha. If one's heart does not change, tears do not flow from his eyes, his body does not shiver, nor his hairs stand on end, as he chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it should be understood that his heart is as hard as an iron. This is due to his offenses at the lotus feet of Lord's holy name. Prabhupada explains how sometimes even the Kanishthadikaris or neophytes, they imitate tears coming out of his eyes or hair standing on end. They imitate these symptoms. And advanced Mahabhagavata may not even show any symptoms of such advanced symptoms. And the real test, Prabhupada says, the real test of the real change of heart takes place when one chants the Hare Krishna mantra, is that one becomes detached from material enjoyment. And detachment from material enjoyment is the real test. Bhakti Pareshanubhava, this is the real change. So the change must be manifested in terms of one's real activities. His behavior, his activities is what shows how he is detached, how the activities of Prabhupada's personal life we can see, how he was detached from everything material. He's totally not even bothered about material enjoyment. He's only concerned about service to Krishna. That is the change of heart. Externally showing some symptoms of some ecstatic symptoms is all doesn't matter. And one more point Prabhupada makes further, one more explanation. Prabhupada says, actually the bodily symptoms or manifestations of the ecstatic descriptions given in the scriptures should be automatically manifested. When one is advancing in Krishna consciousness, all this will be automatically manifested. One should not artificially imitate them. Prabhupada points out, what is our disease now? Our disease is desire for that which is material. Even while advancing in spiritual life, we want material acclaim. This is our disease. Right? Even in spiritual life, when we are we want to progress in spiritual life, but simultaneously we want material acclaim, means lava, puja, pratishtha, anchoring for these things in our spiritual progress also. So this should be given up. Right? When one actually attains the advanced stage, the ecstatic symptoms will automatically appear. We need not imitate them. So the point here is that the process of bhakti is important. Process of bhakti is, should be making us so serious within us in terms of we have to take shelter of the holy name of Krishna. Taking shelter of holy name means the perfection of my life. That is what my perfection of life is. This should be a constant burning desire of a devotee. To achieve that, whatever is required, I should be doing. My chanting should be free from offences. I should not be hankering for lava, puja, pratishtha, these things. Then everything will be going very smooth. As Prabhupada says, Bhakti Pareshanubhava Viraktira Netrasya. So if one is actually advancing in spiritual life, you must be detached from anything matter. So this is the real test of advancement. So we have to seek towards that or aspire towards that level of advancement constantly. And Lord will help us in that way. Right? First of all, we should know that we are doing this mistake. We are in this stage. That is the first level. Many times we will be unaware of that, we are in this stage. We will be in one more illusory situation. I am a very advanced devotee. Right? First of all, we have to analyze and with regard to help of Guru Sadhu Shastra, understand where I stand and where I have to go forward. From there I have to go. This step is next, this is the next step I have to follow. This has to be understood. It will not be an illusion that I have so many years in the movement, I'm so advanced devotee, I know everything, nothing to be known by anybody. That mood is not going to make us advance in Krishna consciousness. Okay. So here, as Prabhupada is telling in today's verse, Bhagavatam purport, the absolute dependence in the lotus feet of Krishna, it's called pure devotional service, is easily achieved in the present age by taking shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling us, chant the holy name without offences, then we can achieve the lotus feet of Krishna. See, the process is so complete, so wonderful. Right? Because taking shelter of Krishna means all your necessities of life will be provided. Sarva kama parasyapi. Then all protection is given. Shemasya. Just have this strong faith and go on in our Krishna consciousness. Then Prabhupada will help us. We'll stop here. Antarashma Bhagavatam.
Thank you.